What's good,
Of
party
course.
people? This is According to Woods, and I am here with the man with the plan, victorious in his second title win for Lights Up Extreme Fighting. He's the one, the only Black House born and bred, the Belizean warrior, Albert Morales. Albert, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. Finally getting to enjoy some Starbucks. About to chop it up with my brother, with Adam Woods, the Adam Woods. So, I mean, can't complain, man.
I appreciate it, but the fucking shot right here, that's some product placement. You need a fucking Starbucks like sponsorship. It's right above your shoulder. Just saying.
It's true. It's true, man. But like, I have stocks. I buy stocks at Starbucks. Like that's one of the few companies that I do buy. So like, I don't mind shouting them out. Even though they steal a lot of my money too.
Yeah, man, stocks, man. That's a forward thinking idea, right? A lot of people think, oh, big MMA prize purse and everything like that. This guy's gonna spend it on shoes or dogs or not to say you haven't,
I do. I do.
but
But
stocks. That's a good move.
yeah, well, the thing is, like, even with shoes, right? I buy shoes because I like shoes. Like, it's a habit that I can't get rid of. Actually, but I have calmed down a lot on it. Like, I just pick on like certain ones throughout the year. I look them up and see which ones I want, and then I put them on my list. And if I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. But I invest in Nike as well. So anything that I pretty much uh, spend my money on, I invest in those companies. So like Starbucks, I'm always buying coffee every day. So I have stocks in Starbucks. I have stocks in Nike. My dogs are my dogs. I sell my dogs. So, yeah, I try to like if I'm gonna spend money into it, I might as well like get some money out of it too.
No, that's a smart move. Smart move. Which I gotta. Can I tell the story? Because there's a little bit of a kind of an inside joke. Like I win a contest back at UFC 199, right, to win a ticket to said events at the T-Mobile Arena. I literally, in the middle of the night, take a Greyhound bus, no sleep, whatever. Meet this guy, collect my ticket. Dog get tired. And essentially what ends up happening is like the first stop after breakfast that we go is the Nike Town. And I'm all like, I was going out of my mind. Like help sell out the T-Mobile Arena, this brand new at the time, brand new arena in Vegas, right? And like you have the wherewithal and the calmness to go to Nike Town and talk about shoes. You had like, a couple thousand people talking about shoes, nothing MMA. And I was just like, wait, like combat sports is my life and I know nothing of it, but he knows like this shoe type deal. And I was like, Albert Morales is probably one of the most versatile human beings I've ever met.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate that. I mean, I've been on like I know now. I see a lot of UFC fighters and MMA fighters rocking sneakers and stuff like that, but real ones know I've been in it for a minute.
Yeah, it's hilarious because like the first time like I knew of you, a bunch of my friends was like, "Oh, Albert made his UFC debut," and I was like, and that it's an image, right? Like the UFC kind of nameplate under and whatever, and you just and I was like, I'm gonna hit friend request. He seems interesting, and I was actually kind of looking back and to basically do a YouTube card for it, right? The picture that everybody sees, the thumbnail, whatever, and I was like, man, you and I have been through some some stuff.
Yeah, man. Hey, dude, you pulled like you. I think what did you take the train there?
Yeah, no, the bus, the Greyhound bus. There was a lady
Nice.
that she reeked of, pardon the pun, but I mean, I don't think it's even a pun, but she reeked of meth,
Oh
right?
shit.
And she was like, and I was like, I'm not gonna go to sleep. I might end up with my face on her face. Like, I mean, not
Oh
like
my
that, but
god.
like she might cut my face.
Yeah,
That's what I meant by that, like Buffalo Bob style, right?
that's the way
And
I
I
took it.
Yeah, so and hilariously enough, we were passing the what is it, the Buffalo Bill or whatever casino at the state line, whatever, and I was like, oh, she's probably gonna wear my face. I probably won't go to sleep right now. It's so yeah, but that's it to kind of go to a UFC event for this guy. UFC. I was UFC 209. My first one was 199 at the Forum with Bisbing toppling Rockhold. But then that was my second UFC event, and what an event that was! Like to wake up because you graciously was like, "You don't have a place? Come to my room," and I fucking hit bricks, whatever, as you're doing your training, doing your thing, whatever. And I wake up and there's like Kenny Johnson and Coach James, and I was like, I don't go here. I
Yeah,
mean, that's before any interview was ever done or what have you. But I was just like, this is this is nuts. So thank you for that experience.
for sure, man. Hey, and look where we are now, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
man, it's a wild, wild ride. So let's go back to the Infinite Reality slash Thunder Studios in Long Beach. Let's take us back. Obviously, you had a gentleman of Afghani descent coming from the Game Bread gym down in San Diego. Amazing competitor. But you guys kind of came into fisticuffs. The good brother, NWA superstar, who was on commentary, Blake Bulletproof Truth, basically said how on commentary how you and the gent had to be separated by none other than Sean Merriman at the weigh-ins. What happened?
um, you know, just people get emotional before weigh-ins. I get the way I take it when things like that happen. There, because I don't get emotional, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, I have internal emotions, but I don't let that escape. You know what I mean? I kind of get my butterflies flying in one direction, so I'm not really I don't let that get out there. I'm just focused and I'm dialed in, and I already know that that's the target. So I just get locked into that, and I look for little tails and stuff like that. But when people react like that, like he went he pulled up, right? So I pulled up forward, and then he put his forehead on my forehead, right? And then okay, cool, right? You know what I mean? Then he started pushing my forehead, so I was like, all right, let me give you a little bit of something back. Nothing too crazy, but you're not just gonna bully me, right? Like it wasn't really anything to me. I'm just letting you know that I'm here too, and trust me, this nightmare isn't gonna go away. Um, so I was just in there in the zone, and I guess he reacted emotionally and didn't know how to do it. So it is what it is. I can't control that dude, but I can control what I do. You know.
So I mean, one of the things that I love about the fight game, and if you've kind of ventured into my social media pages and what have you, I have an unnatural obsession of people getting fucked up, right? I don't know what it is. There's something wired in my brain wrong or whatever. But one of my favorite videos are weigh-in videos, right? Where you know the same kind of scenario that you just posed happens, right? Somebody get all up in their face and they get knocked them, the line from Friday, Smokey and what have you, right? So, with that all being said, whether he knew it or not, he almost gave himself an eerie foreboding and being joining a many in that hallowed hall of shameless weigh-in kind of debacles and getting knocked out after.
Yeah, he poked the bear. You know, or I say he poked the jaguar. You know, and that's something that you don't do. You know, I mean, like we're gonna fight. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to do anything extra, right? You can be in there, you can show me that you're in there, but that kind of nonsense, like it just gets me excited. It makes me more excited to punch him in his face, even though I don't need that to be, but it just makes it even more more pleasurable.
No, absolutely, and it sounds like you had a hell of a time. It looked like it. And if you guys haven't already seen the fight, it is free on Fubo Sports' YouTube page. It's about 45,000 views at the time of recording, so it's pretty good. I checked it out right before. There's a lot of great stuff. I mean, Tommy the Spaniard, Aaron, Luke Duran, a litany of
Eddie Bernal got a good knockout. Kona Oliveira, Baba Carr from Black House. A lot of good fights, man. A lot of freaking good fights.
So again, if you're like, "Oh, where's the stream? Can I can I get that link or whatever?" Literally, Fubo Sports has your hookup. So go ahead, check out their YouTube channel. It is live and well, not for live. We're live, but it is free in its entirety, along with most of all the vault of Lights Out Extreme Fighting is right there on Fubo Sports. They have a nice little playlist, so it's not hard. Which I mean, does that even chart with you? Like 45,000 people. I viewed your fight that just happened like 48 hours ago.
Yeah, thank you to all those that have checked it out. Um, I mean, hey, the crowd there was. I mean, I appreciate you guys checking it out online, but man, just the crowd live was insane, man. Red corner. Luckily, we were all friends, and man, we brought a lot of people with us, man. A lot of people with us, and it's cool because I think like all of us kind of clicked up on social media, so all of our parties were cheering for all of us. So it was insane, man. I loved it. I love fighting for the crowd. I love fighting for people watching all over the world. I love getting finishes for you guys because I know that's what we're here to do. You know, we're not here to make decisions and all that crap like that. We want to see some blood. We want to see some action. We want to see a winner, a decisive winner, and that's what I'm here to do, man. And I just appreciate the fans that appreciate that.
No, absolutely. And I mean, of all of the blood, sweat, and tears, obviously there's, personal accolades that come with it, but, to have that sort of like call and response. I mean, an actor basically doesn't get that. They film a movie 6 months to 2 years from now, then they'll see the reactions, but they're not in there in the studio, in the theater watching it as you're reacting to what they're doing. You as combat sports athletes have that. Like, I mean, it's instantaneous. You do something good, bad, or indifferent, you hear it right away. Does that factor into any of your training preparation?
Um, I wouldn't say into training or prep. I mean, you right because you can't really mimic that, right? Because the crowd is just a whole nother thing, right? You either thrive off it or you got to block it out. I do a little bit of both. It's funny. This fight, the guy was he shot a takedown and was really relentless on this takedown, but didn't really do anything else other than just kind of like go for the first shot, and that was it. And he was holding, and you could hear the crowd booing, and then I hear some of the crowd, elbow him, but it wasn't the right time to elbow at that moment, right? So even like I have this problem where like I hear everything. I hear my coaches, I hear the crowd, and I'm just patiently waiting, and I hear elbow, and I'm like, not yet, not yet. Like I'm shaking my head to the crowd. But something that my coach taught me a long time ago was like to not pay attention, right? Listen to my words. Don't look. You don't have to turn your head because like imagine if my coach is telling me to do something, I turn around and look, and the guy socks me. So I have to be locked in, but at the same time be coherent to understand what's going on around me and stuff like that. But you can't get caught up too much in that because then you're thinking about that, and then then you get taken down or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, 100%. You can't let that set you off your game plan, right? This is where the creme de la creme rises, right? Or you can't let any kind of factors outside of what you set out, the game plan that you set out with your coaches, what you've been training on. You can't let that knock you off your kilter.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, obviously, you're a tenured young vet of the fight game, right? And you fought literally everywhere and anywhere. And what I want to know is where did this kind of rank in terms of the fights you've had? Again, second title win for Lights Out, but I mean, where does it stand, right? You're, another year kind of tenured, right? You're another kind of echelon blaze. You've gotten better in terms of your striking, your jiu-jitsu prowess, everything, right? You've competed on some of the highest stages that aren't just MMA, jiu-jitsu tournaments and what have you, right? So go with all that being said, going into this fight, did you feel any different? Did you feel more experienced? Did you feel a lot more center?
Yeah, yeah, man. I guess every fight I get better. Win, lose or draw. I've had all three. Uh, but every fight, I grow. I grow some way somehow, and I'm learning, that through practice and experience, I'm becoming a whole nother monster, man. I'm gonna get back to the UFC, and I'm gonna be the rookie and the vet at the same time. And I'm not coming to be friends with anybody. I'm not coming for any of that shit. I'm going there to be the champion. Um, I think the first time I got to the UFC, I thought getting to the UFC was like the goal, and I thought it just felt like it was so like so unrealistic almost in a way. It's like making it to the NFL or whatever, or becoming the president. It didn't seem real, but I knew I was gonna do it, but like it didn't seem real. And then I attained that, and I think I felt subconsciously that I made it. So then I started falling into my subconscious and doing the things that I used to do right before the UFC because I felt like I accomplished it. But now I understand that that's the easy part is to get to the UFC. Like I know I'm like it's not easy, right? But it is easy. You just gotta win. And I've had this my second journey, like my second run back to the UFC is it's been a roller coaster, man. The first run was easy. I was undefeated. You know, I got signed. It seemed like a fairy tale. It seemed like this was destiny, right? This time it's been ups and downs and then ups and then downs and then ups. Right? Every loss is just it feels like it's the end of the world, um but you gotta shake that shit off immediately and just realize that that was yesterday and now we gotta keep moving forward. And so to answer your question about does this rank? I mean, every fight is the most important fight. Every next fight is the most important fight, right? But as soon as it's done, it's the past. It's already forgotten. You know what I mean? I'm the lights out champ, sure, but in reality, I'm not because then now I have to defend it again. So it's really not even mine anymore. That was yesterday. So right now, I'm just enjoying the Starbucks, enjoying some food, enjoying some heartburn. But guess what? I'm gonna be back in practice tomorrow. My buddy Anthony Romero's got a fight. He's gonna be fighting for the title on Saturday for up next. So we're gonna have two titles at Black House in 1 week. So that's something that I don't think any team has done before. Especially like taking two of the local promotions, you know, belts in 1 week. Um, but then it's just right back to me, and then it's right back to him, and we're just gonna keep going. You know, like I said, I'm like this is cool, but I'm job's not done. In the words of what Kobe Bryant said, job's not done. Like it's not done till I finish everybody in the first round, all the way to the UFC title. And then when I get the UFC title, like I said, I told you, and then we'll see where I'm at from there. But that's my focus. I want the UFC title.
Yeah, there's something to that, right? I'm a firm believer of shooting for the moon, even if you land short, you land amongst the stars. That make your dreams big and as grandeur as possible, because you're working towards that big goal rather than setting those small goals. You'll hit the small goals and you'll feel it kind of like indifferent, right? Because you kind of did it. You kind of did it, and what's there? And there's a bit of despair, right? Because now, especially if you attain your goal at a very young age, you're like, okay, now what's next? And what that question, that kind of open-ended question, it haunts a lot of people, not just in sport, but in all facets of their life, right? So, whether that be relationships, what have you, right? So, you know, now you're kind of recalibrated, right? With that much more experience. A piece of coal isn't a diamond without pressure. You're feeling a lot of that pressure from all sides. Where maybe the first run you didn't have that, right? Or you didn't truly know what it meant, right? And now you're like, whoa, well, I'm going back, but I'm not just going back, but I'm going back to be champ. That's different than just I want to get to the UFC.
100%. It, you know, I don't know. I just know. I know where I'm at, man. I mean, and I know where I'm at mentally against these guys. All the guys in the UFC. I watched what's his name, Marab, whatever, fight Henry Cejudo. He had a great performance. I can't take that away from him, but I ain't worried about that fool. I'm not worried about any of them, man. They all know when I was in the UFC, I was the guy taking the fights that no one wanted to take on the time no one wanted to take. But I didn't understand that, you know. When I walked around there, they knew who the hell I was. I didn't know who they were, No, like I never thought about that stuff, man. I just wanted to fight. I just wanted to win. I wasn't thinking, but they know what's up, and they're gonna see when I get over there that a real dog is back in the UFC. A guy that's gonna come punch them in their face. A guy that's gonna hit you when you think you're safe. You're never safe with me, man. I'm gonna keep coming forward. And I'm back at 135. I'm 100% focused on 135. I tried the 145 thing. Like it's cool. I definitely want to get maybe a run back one day with Javier Garcia, but that guy's on his own thing. The only reason why I say Javier, and honestly, nothing but respect to the dude. That, he's on his way doing his thing, and he's putting in his work too. But the only reason why is because Javier said he's gonna send me back to the bantamweight, and he kind of did. He kind of did. I gotta give him that. But I'm gonna run it back with him maybe one day. We'll see. If not, it's in the past. I don't think about it right now. It's just 100% bantamweight. Um, Bantamweight focus. Shout out to that guy. I wish him nothing but success. But I'm coming for the bantamweights, man. So I'm back where I belong. Um, I'm 100% focused. There's no stopping till I get that belt, and that's it. That's all I think about is just getting that UFC belt.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned, right, in terms of weight classes, because usually as a fighter, tends to get more experience, right, they do go up in weight, right? So, your experience at featherweight wasn't as good, or
No, it was great. I mean, I had I think it was 3 fights as a featherweight, and I won a title. So I mean, some people don't even. I mean, some people can't even win a title. Can't win a title in one division. I've won titles in 2 divisions. But I sat back and I spoke to my team, my coaches, people that I trust and I love, and they're like, like you could do 45, but like we think that you're best suited at 35. You know what I mean? And I feel like yeah, like I think the diet, it can't be a diet. It has to be a lifestyle. You know what I mean? And that's what I took out of it. It's like it's not a diet. I'm not gonna diet because diet is like it's hard to diet down. Like if you make it a lifestyle, it's not so big of a crash, right? So that was something that I had to switch, and I did that around the 145, and then luckily I was able to go to 140 before I hit 135. So this is my first fight back at 135. My last 2 fights at 140. So I got to create that lifestyle within those 2 fights, and then this cut to 35. Um, it wasn't the worst. It didn't feel like it was like some like crazy cut from 45 to 35. I was able to kind of gradually move down and, like I said, create this lifestyle. So now it's gonna be smooth sailing. 35. I'm back home. I'm actually waiting at 133. Didn't mean to, but I did. Um, and I'm just ready, man. I'm just ready to go, man. I'm just ready to get my belt. That's all. That's all I want, man. I just want that UFC belt, and create a better opportunity for my kids, better opportunity for myself, for my students, for my team, my family. There's a lot of things I want to do. Post MMA, um, in MMA and outside of MMA. So, but right now it's just you know 100% focus UFC title. That's it.
I love it. I love it. Which, not to look back, right? Because you're still currently in it, right? But do you think, that first run, maybe that doesn't happen? Like, would you have rather done it and then just kind of told her way to get back to where you were ready mentally, spiritually, and whatever? Because it seems to me you're tailor made for it. I mean, I've already made on the new UFC video game, Albert Morales, right? So it seems like you're tailor made now, right? Whereas you weren't then. And not to say that there's difference or whatever, but with experience, right? With experience comes knowledge that you didn't have before that might have had you there, maybe longer, right? So, I mean, do you think that that first run taught you anything? And would you have rather maybe not done that first run and just kind of pulled away until you're absolutely ready?
No, no. I think that first run actually helped. Well, not think. I know that first run molded the person that I am today. I was able to experience what it was to feel the lights. I was able to feel what it felt like to fight in a different country. Um, I was able to feel what it feels like to fight these people that are in the UFC, right? Because in um, I don't know, when you watch them on TV, they seem so big. Like oh man, that guy's so good. But it's just another human being, you know. Um, I wouldn't have had all the opportunities that I've been given post UFC, which helped me like grow. You know what I mean? I'm talking about stocks right in the beginning. Like I wouldn't have met the people that I've met if I didn't go through that experience. And probably the most important thing going through that is that I wouldn't have found out that if you put your mind to something, you can achieve it, whatever it is. So I'm glad that I went through the journey that I did, and it showed other people too, because I feel like once I got signed, then I saw a lot of people get signed. I got signed before people that I looked up to got signed. So it was just such a crazy experience. And I loved it, and I appreciate it. I appreciate the ups. I appreciate the downs. I appreciate the future downs that are gonna come and the future ups that are gonna come. Um, I don't think that no. I think everything happens for a reason, and I'm just excited. I'm just excited because, like I said, the dog is about to come back, and you're gonna see some shit, man. Because I'm not playing around.
Yeah, it's hilarious, right? I can't even remember because, like, when I said, like, oh, I hit my friend request, it's all coming back to me. I feel like Celine Dion because it's all coming back to me in the sense, like, wait, no, no, no. I know exactly why you hit the friend request. Oh, you're on Dana White's looking for a fight for season where, like, they were, testing out Travis Barker's, vegan restaurant and stuff like that. I was like,
Yep.
yeah, and they went wholeheartedly to sign your opponent that night and you knocked him out, and it was just
Yep.
wild. And I mean, you've gone through so much, right? But, like, kind of feathers in your cap like that, it just like, oh yeah, that happened. Does it feel like you don't know what's live or Memorex? Does it feel like a fever dream?
Um, nah, man. I don't know when it developed, but I I I uh I don't dwell in the past too much, man. You know, maybe it's because I get punched in the head for a living and I forget things. You know what I mean? But I don't. Yeah, I don't really dwell in the past for too long. I'm just more excited for what's to come. And what's his name said that yesterday, Ilya Taporia. As much as I wanted Volkanovski to win, he said, "Don't worry about what's behind you. Just focus on what's to come." And that's all I'm doing, man. That's all I guess I've ever done. I guess I'm always thinking, okay, after I've accomplished something, it's like, what's next? What's next? And so, I mean, luckily I have friends like you that remember and remind me, and I'm like, oh, that was kind of cool. Yeah, you're right, I did do that. But yeah, I'm just, I guess I just want to know what's next, man. What's next for dinner?
No, I love it. And I mean, you were just speaking of, like so many guys got signed after you. Ilya Taporia is one of the COVID signings, right? He came to the UFC right around like the no fans in the event. Either it was Abu Dhabi um, or the UFC Apex, like one of those. Because I remember doing Voodoo in the Woods, and we are like, "Who's this guy?" and whatever. Then looking at his topology and whatever, and a lot of his fights were kind of overseas. So, with that all being said, that is a guy that, since your first run, he has made his debut and is now champion on the same weekend where you become champion again. That's kind of wild to think about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and he said it too. He just put that on his mind, and that's all it was. And he was speaking about it. He changed his Instagram to champion and all that stuff like that. Hey, coincidentally, I did that too, but I did that way. I said, I changed my Instagram bio like I don't know, maybe like 3 months ago or something. Like, maybe 2, 3 months ago, something like that. So uh, I'm not big into like the you know manifestation and all that stuff like that, but shit is legit. It is legit. I don't go by calling it manifestation. Just making shit happen. I believe God blesses those that work hard. And do the right thing. And so I just try to do the right thing as much as I can. And shit. All I know is hard work. So and that's thanks to my coaches and through my mentors and my mom. You know, my mom's a hard worker too. So it's like, yeah, man, I've been blessed, bro, and I feel like, for me not to accomplish what I say I'm going to accomplish would be a disrespect to myself, to my parents, to my coaches. You know, so it's more than just for me. You know, it's for everybody, man. It's for a lot of things. You know, because I win. You know, we all win in some way. You know, just because I just want to show you guys, like I said, if you put your mind to something, you can do it. Anything, man. We can literally be anything we want to be.
Uh, well, I want to be like Albert Morales when I grow up. That's for sure. Um, so I mean, obviously you're at Starbucks now, right? You know, how long did you know about the fight? Was it the traditional 6 weeks? Was it shorter? Was it longer?
Um, it was actually not that long of a camp because we had my opponent was actually supposed to fight in January, and I wanted to fight on that card too, but we couldn't figure out like through the contract. You know, I manage myself, so I negotiate with matchmakers and promoters for like me and them. And their lights out is fucking awesome, bro. They treat me like a fighter when I need to be a fighter, and they treat me like a manager when I need to be a manager, and then they treat me I wouldn't say a manager, as a partner. You know what I mean? Because we're both making money in this in this contract or in this event, so that they treat me like a partner with respect, and they treat me like a man. You know, they're not like I'm straight up with them, and they're straight up with me. So I really appreciate Sean Merriman and Antonio from Lights Out. Those guys are the shit. Um, so we couldn't figure it out for January, but then we figured it out for February. But I don't remember when, but it was anywhere from like 3 to 4 weeks, so not too bad. You know, I've had longer camp. They actually gave me a longer camp before, um, and I've had shorter camps. You know, I've fought 2 weeks notice in the UFC, 1 week's notice in the UFC. So 4 weeks is more than enough time to prepare for somebody, especially the way that I train. I train. You know, I'm going back to the gym tomorrow. You know, I'm actually going to go to the gym right now. I have a client in a little bit, so. Um, yeah, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, So 4 weeks is more than enough time.
I love it. So with that all being said, like, what was the first thing that you went and indulged in outside of Starbucks after the fight?
Oh my God. There's a place called Lock and Key in Downey. It's a nice car. Lock and Key in Downey, right? It's a bar, but like I say it's a freaking restaurant that has a bar, because their food is amazing, bro. Like everything is all carnivore type. You know what I mean? They have like I had this. It's called a colossal pastrami colossal burger, and it has pastrami. It has a wagyu patty. Um, it has like two different cheeses. And then I threw an egg in it, an over medium egg, on a brioche bun. Oh my god, dude, so bomb. And then I had dessert. I had a bread pudding, and then they throw ice cream on top of it, and then they light the shit on fire. Yes. And then I had a churro with ice cream on top of it, and I grubbed on that. And then that was that night. And then I went the next morning. I picked I picked I ended up having I bought some shoes, right, because they dropped some Jordan 4s, and I lost all the raffles, all of them, bro. I signed up for like 8 raffles. I lost them all, and I was like, "There's no way I'm not gonna get these shoes." So then I looked on Instagram, and I found there's a place that was doing like the sit outside, first come first serve, and I was like, "All right." I took a shower, drove over there. It was like 7:30 a.m., and luckily there was only like 4 or 5 people in line. So I hopped in line and I just waited there. They opened at 11, so I was in the cold from like 7:30 to 11. But I got my shoes, and then after that, I went and picked up my daughters. We went to a burger spot called Proudly Serving in I think it's Hermosa Beach, but best burgers in the South Bay, hands down. Proudly Serving. It's like better than In and Out, hands down. But the menu is super simple. Maybe like four burgers on the menu, three burgers on. There's three burgers and a grilled cheese. Um, I had this thing called the brunch burger, so it was kind of like a breakfast style. They had like bacon, maple syrup in it. So bomb, soft, just delicious burgers. And then my daughter got a grilled cheese, so I ate some of that, and that was fire too. And then they served tots, tater tots. Um, so I had that. I had that, and then today I'm gonna go eat some steak at a steakhouse with one of my sponsors. So there's eating pretty good right now.
I mean, work hard, play hard. That's what I say. Champ shit only. Good
Let's
lord.
go. Let's
That's
go.
man, I think I gained some calories just listen to that shit. And
Uh,
my hearing my hearing is shit. So if I heard it, I gained another 100 pounds. I feel like that's right. That's why my head looks this way. Obviously, bro. Like there's a lot of people. Well, wait, actually, we didn't talk much about the fight, so let's take it through, right? So obviously the weigh-ins happened the way that it did, but the actual fight, right? So homeboy shouting at you, which I thought was kind of precarious, right? Because I mean, Kenny Johnson is your coach, like your principal coach, right? In your corner. I'm like, this is not going to go well, right? And I didn't look at anything. I didn't look at social media. I know you won, but like that's it, right? So I went in fresh. And I was like, that's the worst scenario, right? And then it looked like he was trying to take you to his corner so he can. And I was like, that's not a great move either because you're used to being in enemy territory. Like, I'm just saying, like, how many times have you fought hometown guys? And won, right? It's like, I didn't understand it. But as it's happening, what's going on in your head?
I was really, really, really mad I didn't sprawl. You know, I was just like, cause he shot in a double. I mean a single, and I have pretty good single defense, but um, I messed up and I kind of turned around and he was able to drive me to the cage, and cause I analyzed it now, right? He drove me to the cage, and instead of me going on to his head and Elvising, getting my shallow wizard and pushing his head down, I kind of like stopped to process what was going down, and my hand was kind of like on the inside of his face, so then he was able to easily wrap his hands around both of my legs. And once you got both hands around the legs, it's pretty like it's you're pretty fucked unless you fight the hands. You know what I mean? So he was able to wrap around both of my legs and he was able to pick me up. So kudos to him. He got into a pretty good position. So as he picked me up, I was like, "Fuck, it's all right. Well, let's get ready. As soon as he takes you down, I'm going straight to the cage, right? Because I was gonna get back up." So he ended up picking me up and taking me to his corner, and from there, Kenny Bolt wrestling, baby. Stay calm under pressure, cool, calm, look good, feel good, fight good. Um, got my butt to the cage, pressed down the head, stiff armed him, and just I had to stay patient. Like Coach Kenny says, like Ludacris says, when I move, you move, just like that. You guys got to be in class to know about that one. So I just had to just kind of be patient, push down on his head, and the second that he let go, I was gonna look for an opportunity to get my crossface and get up. You see it in the fight. I actually tried to like force the crossface while he had my leg, and then
Hmm.
immediately went back to the head because I didn't want to mess up because honestly he didn't do anything wrong his game plan, I don't know what it was, but if I would have made the mistake and like let's say try to punch instead of push down on that head, he would have taken my back. We could have been in a whole different situation, right? But thanks through experience and practice and having the best coach in the game, um actually Coach Kenny wasn't there, right? Which is another fucking shout out to my coach because like I've taken that class thousands of times, brother. Like I've taken that same class, like man, like to the point where like back in the day, like I would say like like I've said I've done this class so many times, so like Now I appreciate every class. Like whatever coach is teaching today, I don't give a shit if I've done it. I've done all of coaches' classes. You know what I mean? So like, I don't care. I'm gonna learn because every like it's crazy because you always learn something new, right? You just gotta just be open mind. Anybody can show you something, whether it's like something valuable or something like, oh fuck no, I'm never gonna do that, right? But everybody can show you something, right? My coaches always show me good shit. I have the best coaches in the game because I train at Black House. But you know, I just stayed patient, just through, like I said, experience, and I knew as soon as you let go, I was gonna get up, and yeah, I just stayed on his head. Um, as I was on his head, he kind of started holding a little bit, so I was like, let me try and hit his liver or the back or like his rib, his floating rib, and I would punch it, and I would see like it would indent, and I would see him kind of move. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna stay here because if I keep punching that shit, then he's gonna transition. So let me just stay here, right? But I noted that okay, that's a nice little shot. Eventually, he let go to adjust to get to a different position, and that's when I was able to kind of get up, and he circled to my back. Another class that Coach Kenny that does all the time, right? We actually did both of these classes before this camp. Had nothing to do with my fight. We just did those classes, and it went right away to fighting the hands. Fighting the hands. The second I was able to break out the hands. I turned, getting ready to go off the cage. He went back to the single leg, but his head was low, so I stuffed his head again, and he was just holding. So then I saw an opportunity to elbow with my free hand, and I actually elbowed him in his head, right? Because I was just like trying to
Mm.
get him to let go. Because the second he would have let go of me, I was gonna piece his ass up. But because I was frustrated. I was like, come on, man, let's fight. But hey, it is a fight, right? Because like I said, if I would have messed up and made the wrong move, then he'd be in a way different position. So I just have to be patient and trust my coaches and yeah, I mean, and the cool thing is that like I train at Black House MMA, right? I train my head coach is Brazilian Samurai Juan Gomez. He takes Coach Kenny's classes, so he knows what Coach Kenny does, you know. So he's over there yelling the same thing that Coach Kenny would be telling me. So that's why, man. It's like it's definitely me and they're fighting, but it's a whole lot that goes into it, man. And again, that goes through practice and experience. So shout out to Black House, best team in the world.
Heck yeah. Now, even the move, right? Like, I guess after the fact, your opponent was complaining that it was straight down elbows was is what is it, 12-6 elbows?
I don't know. I don't know if he was complaining about the 12-6 or if because where I was hitting, because I hit his rib, I hit that there's like a little, I don't know if it's his spleen, but I was hitting in this little soft
Yeah,
pocket between. So I don't know.
right.
It might have felt like it was his spine that was getting hit. Like like I mean, he doesn't know where he's getting hit. He just knows that shit hurts. So he might have thought I was hitting his spine. So I don't know if he's thinking 12-6 because there's no way he could tell how that elbow was hitting, unless it just felt real sharp down, or he was complaining that I was hitting his spine. So I'm not sure which one he was thinking about.
Yeah, it was definitely weird. But even that, right? The 12-6, that debate, that's the reason why John Jones, lost to Matt Hamill. But Joe Rogan has basically said, that's something that carried over from karate, right? There's a lot of things in MMA that don't make sense anymore. Like even weight cutting. Weight cutting is something that ported over from boxing and collegiate wrestling as a way of UFC specifically and Mark Ratner to get it legalized state by state, right? But I mean, there's better ways. Same thing with the 12-6 elbows. Those are the karate guys, or those sport and tournament karate guys that would break, boards and cinder blocks and stuff like that. So, like, oh, if you can break a center block, you can't do that, right? So, and I think Blake Troop pretty much emphasized it, right? It's like dropping a quarter off of a building, and that is true. But I mean, if you can do a straight punch, a straight kick, straight elbow. I mean, what say
Yeah,
you?
I don't care. I just follow the rules. Uh, the ref. He didn't stop the fight. He didn't tell me to check it. I know that I wasn't. There was like one of them where it kind of looked straight, but all of them in my attention were coming around because I know I've been in the game for a long time. I listen in the rules meetings. And I've been to so many of them, cornering and not and fighting. So I mean, I know the rules and I follow them to a T. I've never been penalized for anything like that. So I just follow the rules. I just do what I have to do, and the referee didn't stop it, so I just kept going. Like even at the end, like that's why I wasn't really like satisfied. I mean, now that I look at it, it's pretty. It is a pretty vicious win because I literally was elbowing the shit out of his spleen or whatever the heck to the point where he just had to fall on his back. Um, I've never seen anything like that before. Now that I think about it, but I was kind of upset at the time because I like to leave people like unconscious or like just like last time when I fought Musa Tolliver, like the dude was trying to grapple with the referee, right? Because he had no idea where he was. Because then there's no doubt, right? Like even when I got the TKO, I wasn't landing flush punches. But the thing is, like the guy was like talking to the ref, um, and referee Mike was like, um, defend yourself. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna keep punching, right? You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep punching. I wish I would have like kicked him in his stomach or something like that. Like I wish I would have just beat the shit out of him a little bit more to make it just like shut up, dude. Like but but um. But it is what it is, man. And I think God didn't want him to get hurt that bad. Um, and that's what that it worked out. It worked out, man. It's three first round finishes, and it's gonna get to the we're gonna get to the point where we're just gonna expect me to finish everybody in the first round, including when I fight for the UFC title. I'm gonna finish that guy in the first round too, whoever that's gonna be.
Hell yeah, I love it. I can't wait. I'm gonna be there. Mark my words, I'll be there. Now, obviously, you had a throng of support, in this fight camp, as in all fight camps. But a couple new sponsors in the cut, so
Oh
take as long
man.
as you need. Let's shout them out, bro.
So man, this was a fucking. I mean, I have a lot of the. I'm walking to the car because my phone's about to die. So I'm gonna put it on the charger. But um, a bunch of my old sponsors, man. I got to shout out Tequila Dame Mas, um, Seha Law Firm. Protect your art, protect the brand. Always rule number one. Um, Let me see. Some new sponsors: Foreign Lifestyle, Gramercy. Thank Your Connect. Some of the best herb in the game. Fuck that. The best herb in the game. Shout out to Backpack Boys associated with Gramercy. Thank Your Connect. Ringside Vodka. Best fight vodka in the game. Let me see. Athletic CBD's always been with me. Top Catering. If you need, the cater weddings, cater any type of event. Big baller stuff, right? Let me see. Carlos and Ernie's in Belize. They're a bar in Belize, a sports bar in Belize, and San Pedro Key. Whenever I touch down, man, the guy's been a supporter of me since forever. He would send me messages when I was in the UFC and um and outside the UFC. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Hello. Okay, cool. Yeah, they always stream my fights. Over there, like whenever I have a fight, they
I think that what's happening here, guys, is Albert just got into his car, so it's. I think the Bluetooth on his headphones and the car Bluetooth are fighting each other. Yeah, so hi, it's me. If you guys haven't already seen this page or YouTube channel, I'm Courtney Woods. I do interviews, podcasts, and if you follow any of my social media pages, post a lot of dumb shit memes. So if you're in for it, I will warmly encourage you to go ahead and shoot a follow, subscribe, and what have you, because you'll get more stuff like this. So there you go. And back to Albert.
That's horrible.
There you go.
Uh,
I good. I think what was happening is you went back into your car. Your car went into Bluetooth mode, and the two Bluetooths from your headphones and the car were fighting each other.
Bastards. Well,
See?
my phone won, but yeah, Fubu TV isn't allowed in Belize, and so Carlos and Erdy always figures out a way to stream my fights. So shout out to them. Rock LA, um, Super Rare Fight Shop. Can't forget best fight gear in the West Coast in LA and in the East Coast in New York. Um, man, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. Team Savage for helping me come out with the B Dub gear, the Born Winner gear, and Gen X for handling my prints, my banners, and these guys have been with me for man years. You know, a lot of these companies have been grinding with me for a long time. Help support me, man. Hey, you know, I was able to focus on training. You know, I've been able to focus on training for a few camps now. You know, where I can actually take time off of work and teaching. Um, so that I can focus on the fight thanks to these supporters and these sponsors. So they mean their support means everything, man. It's awesome because I have two daughters, right? And they allow me to take care of them too, you know, and not have to worry about um I don't like missing practice or anything like that because that's important. Because look, man, if I don't go to practice, then I don't know that I have to stuff the head, and then to get that first round finish, you know. So I mean, I help them through advertisement, but they help me be the best that I can be. So I appreciate all my sponsors and all my supporters, and we're far from done. We're far from done.
No, far from done. Bro, I so appreciate this. Like, literally, I just had a question. I was like, does it feel any different? And whatever. And your response, because again, you've won a lights out title before, right? And then here you go again. Does it feel different? And you answered it and whatever. And I was like, we should podcast. We should podcast. So thank you for taking the time to do this, bro.
No worries, man. Hey, I haven't I haven't really been on the interviews too much. And I'm not like Dana White. I have nothing against podcasts. I love going out there and like talking because you never know who you could inspire or help out or share a message that someone needs to hear. So I'm always down for it, and I'm always down to support you, my brother, because you support me. So I love that you were my first interview post fight, post championship fight, and thank you, my bro.
I appreciate you, brother. Like this is like I said, you are family to me. You know, your family's family, and we're just gonna ride this together. So I appreciate it, and we also appreciate you guys for joining us here at the According to Woods podcast. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast and all of the social medias. I mean, Albert, you subscribed and followed, right?
I should be shoot. Well, I don't have StreamYard, but I'm going to. I know I follow you, but I'm gonna do it right now after I'm done.
Yeah, no, I just put you on full screen so you could give a ringing endorsement. Shameless plug, because I was going to clip that. But anywho, but yeah. So Albert, you're subscribed and followed to the socials and stuff, right?
Yes, sir. All day, every day.
Hell yes. So if you are like Albert or you want to be like Albert, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And then also the Instagram and all that stuff where you get dumb shit memes. If you don't believe me and you don't believe Albert, and I don't know why you wouldn't, but go ahead and believe somebody that you and I both know in one Zeta Zhang and help her convince you to subscribe to this podcast.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According to Woods YouTube.